Low lights low on polished oak and velvet chairs. Crystal glasses catch the neon's crimson flare. The bartender stirs a potion of botanical gin and smoke. A splash of bitters marks the secret words we spoke. It's time for cocktails in the Neon Lounge.
Neon Lounge should come as no surprise. If the summer of 2026 is the year of the whiskey sour, it was only a matter of time until somebody added one little crazy thing to it for the purposes of trying to riff on it. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this drink. I think that the whiskey sour in and of itself is a really good cocktail. Now, you want to do the New York sour where you float the red wine on top? Go ahead. I get it. That is a substantive ingredient to add to the whiskey sour to only make it that much better. This idea, come on in, camera lady, of adding orange juice to it makes me a little skeptical. But you know what? I love to be proven wrong, particularly on delicious cocktails. So come on over. Let's go ahead and put this together. You know, what I like about a whiskey sour is there's no wrong bourbon to use. It's much like drinking an old fashioned. What do you like for an old fashioned? Do you have a particular bourbon that you really enjoy when it comes time to making an old fashioned? And if you do, I'd say that's probably the best bourbon to use for your whiskey sour. So I really like Woodford Reserve for my old fashions. I almost said Old Forester, just trying to get Old Fashioned and Woodford Reserve out of my mouth. But I am using Woodford Reserve as my base. So I also have here a mixing glass. So we're going to do this a little bit traditional, the way perhaps it should be done, especially if you're going to make a, where the fuck is my, there it is. Okay, there we go. So in a mixing glass filled with ice, I want you to use 1.5 ounces of whatever. Nope. You know what you're going to start with, because it's already in my jigger. We're going to start with lemon juice, right? Because that's what I do. I always seem to have my lemon juice in my jigger already squeezed. So that is 3/4 ounce that I've got right there. Now I'm going to do 1.5 ounces of bourbon. Ooh. There we go. I poured a little too much. I poured like a little sippy sip more than I needed to. Then we need 1 ounce of our freshly squeezed orange juice. 1 ounce of orange juice. Put that right on in there. And then we need 3/4 ounce of simple syrup. Boop, boop. And then with our stir, there we go. Let's just get down in there. And we're just going to stir. And we're just going to riff here for a minute on a whole lot of nothing important. I've found some more. I've got one really fun cocktail recipe coming up here once I get through these 3 that I've recorded tonight. And I don't really know how these are going to get posted or when they're going to get posted or where they'll get posted, but do know that there are 2 places that the videos could be posted. One would most logically and likely be with Patreon, because if you are a Patreon member, I'm going to make sure that you're getting a cocktail video every single week. But it's also possible that is a way to, an amuse-bouche, if you will, for cocktails, you might get something on the old YouTubes. So the best part is I leave it to Josh to make the decision on how he's going to let folks know that these cocktails have been made and that the videos are ready to be watched. But I would go ahead and say that at this point, I've done enough cheap plugs for the Patreon, and I think it is probably time for us to go ahead and pour this into our cocktail glass and give it a try. Give this it's called the Stone Sour, by the way, that I had found online. So yeah, interesting. Well, by the way, did you notice that we did not put any bitters in our drink? That surprised me a little bit too. I expected there to have been a little bit of bitters. By the way, let me show you something that I got. Last time we were down in Louisville, I picked up a hand towel for a tea towel, I think is what they call these at Maker's Mark. And so look, even Maker's doesn't recommend bitters either, apparently, in their whiskey sour. So, okay, I guess it's not weird that we didn't have any bitters put in here. Bada boom, bada bing. Also, one more plug, I guess. If I'm going to plug stuff, I might as well plug the fact that you can go to Zazzle.com and get some Neon Lounge merch. But for right now, I'm just going to pour our whiskey sour right in there with an ice ball. Okay. I have no idea what to make of this drink. On the nose, I don't get a whole hell of a lot. Actually, strike that. I get really nothing. It smells like just a melange of liquids that we've poured in here. But how's it taste? Because that's what's most important. You know, jump on in there, camera lady. It's quite boring. I think that what makes a whiskey sour so good is that nice tartness that you get from the lemon juice. And that lemon juice, kind of hits you right there, and it marries so beautifully with the bourbon. Now, camera lady just went, So I think camera lady likes it a little bit more. Camera lady, I will be your voice to the video. What are you thinking about this drink?
Juice and bourbon.
Well, she says it's orange juice and bourbon, and how can you go wrong? But here's the problem, camera lady. The best part about a whiskey sour is that nice marrying of the bourbon with the lemon juice and the simple syrup. So when you throw that orange juice in there, I think it just muddies the overall flavor, wouldn't you say? No, she did not think so. All right, so there you go. There you go, Neon Lounge. 1 for, 1 against on this particular drink, the Stone Sour. What say you? Make the drink, report back, and let me know. Cheers.